What's up, YouTube? I'm Brett.
I'm Lance.
This is Rants Are Us. Today we're going to be talking about probably a controversial topic when it comes to Star Wars fans, but I think it's one that really needs to be talked about. Is Solo actually the best Star Wars movie?
What do you think?
Let's say yes.
I'd say no.
I'd say no. Okay, hear me out on this one. I know I'm going to get a lot of bad feedback about this one. But let me just tell you the reason why. Because if you actually go back and you watch the original series, the fight scenes are terrible. A lot of I don't know. It looks like Muppets in space, let's face it. I mean, I hate to say this. Don't get me wrong, guys. I am a huge Star Wars fan. Don't think I'm hating on it, because I'm not. Because I actually do care a lot about those. Empire Strikes Back was like my movie, back in the day.
Mine was Return of the Jedi.
Return of the Jedi.
When we were kids, that was my...
But see, those are movies...
I did not like A New Hope.
Yeah. But
I did then because it was Star Wars.
Yeah.
But looking back on it,
yeah,
it was probably my least favorite.
Yeah. But I mean, there was so many things that were wrong about those movies. Yes, were they structurally better than probably, I don't know, let's say, the prequels or even the sequel series of Disney? Yes, no doubt. I mean, they're, I would say, better in that regard. But the prequel series actually has some.
If I look
really
back
good
on
movies.
it, I would say the prequel series was the best of Star Wars has had to offer to this point.
I think when you look at trilogy wise, yes, I would say probably the prequels. But when you talk about movie wise, is there a specific movie? I mean, Return of the Sith, I guess would be.
Not Return of the Sith. Revenge of the Sith.
Revenge of the Sith. Sorry, my bad. Sorry, Star Wars fans out there. No, but yeah, Revenge
was my favorite.
Yeah, Revenge of the Sith.
Almost solely due to the Obi-Wan Anakin fight.
That Obi-Wan Anakin fight is one of the most memorable fights that I don't think. The only one that I could even compare that to when it comes to Star Wars is in the Clone Wars series finale, the Darth Maul. Or the next series finale in the Darth Maul Ahsoka Tano fight. Like, I thought that was like head over heels better than hardly anything. But the Obi-Wan Kenobi Anakin fight was probably one of my favorite. But it wasn't
one of the best battles of ever, including Star Wars especially.
No doubt. No doubt the lightsaber battles in the prequels were so much better.
The original?
Yeah.
I think so. I think even the lightsaber fights in the prequels were even better than these Disney ones.
Sequels. Was there really that much about...
What about the one between Count Dooku and Yoda?
Yeah.
And
or even Darth Sidious and Yoda.
Yeah.
There's so many... Or even, the Darth Sidious and... what was his name?
Mace Windu?
Mace Windu. Yeah, Mace Windu. I mean, those were all really good fights. But what I'm saying is when it comes to that, I don't even consider sequels. Sequels are garbage. Sequels are garbage.
I liked the last one. Rise of Skywalker. I liked that one.
I thought that was blasphemy.
I liked The Force Awakens. I did not like the one in between.
The
Last Jedi.
I hated
The Last Jedi.
Huh?
I hated The Last Jedi.
The Last Jedi, I thought reminded me of Speed. The movie, what was it? Speed.
Where the bus can't go.
Yeah,
Speed.
It reminded me of that with starships only going slower. Like that was basically the whole premise of the.
I didn't understand. Let's drop bombs in outer space.
Yeah, or
there's no gravity.
Yeah. Oh, no, that was. What was that?
That's the beginning of The Last Jedi.
Oh yeah, I was thinking that was in Rise of Skywalker. No, that was Last Jedi.
It was The Last Jedi.
Yeah. So, and then who can forget that?
I don't even want to discuss.
I can't even talk about that without getting mad.
That ruined my childhood.
That ruined my childhood right there. Ruined Luke Skywalker forever when it comes to things.
It wouldn't have been so bad if the alien didn't look over at the camera and was like,
I know. It made it even worse.
That's what I'm saying.
I could have handled that scene if like it did like drip on his beard and it was like it was just like it was just best milk ever. Like but when I say Solo was the best movie was because it actually dealt with a protagonist that maybe we didn't want to see a Han Solo movie. I know I didn't. I don't think we needed one. We already saw a young Han Solo. Why do we need to see a movie of another young Han Solo? So I kind of felt like in that way it was. It wasn't as good as maybe the other one. But I felt like structurally it had like a plan. It kind of felt like an old Western, but it kept me involved. And who can, Daenerys Targaryen was in it. I mean,
yeah.
That got me.
That shocked me. I was like, what's
she
crazy?
She did really good in it.
What's crazy about it is when I seen her, I was like, who is this actress? I know she looks familiar.
I know.
And I couldn't pinpoint it. I had to go to IMDb.
It's the black hair.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, that's actually her natural hair color.
Yeah, she's not blonde.
Yeah. So, but I'll tell you what really sold me on, and it was the very ending of Han Solo, was the anticipation that there might be another Han Solo movie with Darth Maul in it. That alone, I think, would be
Darth Maul is worth the watch.
I think that
I've heard these rumors that Disney's going to be doing a series about Darth Maul, and I will watch that.
I'd watch
any
that
day of the week.
Look, I love the Mandalorian. Don't get me wrong, I love the Mandalorian, but Darth Maul series, you betcha. Could even be in the Obi-Wan series that they are going to do.
I liked
on Disney Plus.
I liked Mandalorian. I didn't think it was great. I thought it lacked a lot of story arc.
I think The Mandalorian is a story that would. It feels Star Wars.
I think it's a story for new Star Wars fans.
I think it's a story for Disney Star Wars.
True.
I mean, it's not Star Wars that we grew up.
True.
With,
no, by far.
No. I mean, it's just.
Now I do kind of have issues with people who get things confused and think that Baby Yoda is Yoda because there's no way, because it's after the Empire's fallen.
Oh, I know, it drives me crazy.
It's after the Empire.
And I kind of almost wonder, would the Mandalorian be that good?
He's like, these are Empire chips.
Yeah.
I can't use those anymore.
Well, I mean, okay, let's face it, would the Mandalorian be that good without Baby Yoda?
Well, I don't know what the story arc would be at all with Baby Yoda.
Without it, yeah.
That's pretty much the main thing. He goes there, gets Yoda, and then he starts getting drawn between still being a bounty hunter or raising Baby Yoda, basically, is what I gathered.
Yeah. But I mean, when it comes to the Solo movie, I feel like it was structured well. I felt like the acting was good. I felt like the action was fun. Had Woody Harrelson in it. I'm a big Woody Harrelson fan.
Me too, and he was the last person I expected to see in a Star Wars film.
I thought he did great. I mean, he didn't seem like out of place like I thought he would be.
No, not at all. I mean, but, I had just watched him in, like, Zombieland.
Yeah, I know.
And then,
well, I mean, this is how old I am.
To be like, where's the Twinkies?
Well, I mean, this is how old I am. I still remember him from Cheers. So, I mean, that's way, way back in the day.
Cowboy Way.
Yeah, the Cowboy Way. That's one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah.
Like Woody Harrelson won me over with that one.
Yeah.
And then the Highwayman. And then the Highwayman. The Highwayman is awesome.
I haven't seen that yet.
That's great.
It's on my list to watch,
But yeah, if you ever on
I thought it was great because it kind of showed why when Han dies and Chewie's just devastated. It kind of shows their story began as friends. And,
it kind of does.
I
mean, it does kind of. It does take away from it. I mean, when they kind of made Chewie into this like homicidal maniac that eats people, like I kind of felt like
he was in prison.
He was in prison, but the fact that Chewie, the lovable Chewie, was eating men alive, kind of takes away a little bit from the original story.
Yeah, and it's kind of
like you'd want a pet. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, oh, he's crazy and he's eating people, and Han's like, hey, let's be friends, and he's like, okay, let's go.
Yeah, I know. And Han Solo, I think even in the movie, he says that he's never left that planet. his home planet.
So how does he know how to speak Wookiee?
I have no idea. See, now those are plot holes.
I always thought
I'm not saying Solo's perfect, guys.
I always thought Chewie kind of taught him, basically. Like, him being with Chewie is how he had to learn the language, not I already knew it, even though...
Yeah. Solo was a story no one wanted, but since we did get it, I will say, and maybe it's because I'm more impressed with it than I am the sequels. Maybe I wouldn't feel this way if the sequels weren't so fresh in my mind, because the sequels are just so terrible.
Maybe I kind of feel that way with me. Like I watched Solo and I was like, oh, it's a great movie.
Yeah, compared to the
maybe
sequels,
it's comparison. Like,
yeah, and that could be.
Maybe if I hadn't watched the sequels and I watched Solo, I'd be like, this is stupid.
But it's hard for me to go back and watch the originals now, because look. That Obi-Wan Darth Vader fight, it just looks so stupid compared to today's standards.
It's horrible because we've grown up with the technology we have grown up with.
Yeah,
but before we entered that era of technology, those movies were
awesome.
Time,
yeah. Growing up, they made me a Star Wars fan. I owe them drastically for that. But
I still watch them.
Huh?
I still watch them.
Yeah.
I watch them with Stevie and...
Yeah, no, I still watch it with my kids, and, I'm trying to get my kids into Star Wars, Lego, and things like that. I'll always be a Star Wars fan, and it's because of the original series.
I've trained my children with the skills of a lightsaber.
Yeah. He's going to be a Jedi like his father before him.
Absolutely.
But when it comes to the sequel series, maybe that is. Maybe the sequel series is so bad
now, see, with the
that
sequel series,
is comparison.
The sequel series, though, I'm not a big fan of them. Like I said, I did kind of like Rise of Skywalker, but my daughter absolutely loves them because
that's a generational thing.
Well, I think it's because she looks at it like, oh, she's a Jedi and she's a girl. I can be a Jedi too.
Well, it's kind of like J.J. Abrams. Everybody loves J.J. Abrams. Why? Because he likes a bunch of flashy lights and a bunch of...
Not everybody.
Yeah. Not a big J.J. Abrams fan. He lost me at Lost, and then from that point, he never got me back.
Yeah.
I feel like he's fan servicey a little too much. I feel like J.J. Abrams, when it come to trying to remake he was trying to get the nostalgia. But once you look past the nostalgia,
I think that
there wasn't a movie in his movies.
I think that when you have an original thing. When you have an original thing and it was so big, it's hard to get away from that. It's hard to not be nostalgia,
It is. But you don't bring your main characters in just to kill them.
I don't even want to talk about that because
that was okay.
Han Solo dying was the most retarded thing I've ever seen in my life.
It kind of made now in hindsight, it kind of was stupid for them to make a Han Solo movie right after they made. That movie where he dies in such a dumb way.
What was the
comes
point?
Back as a Force ghost, so apparently
he's not even a ghost. He's like me and you. He's the other Force ghosts look like a polygraph or whatever, a hologram. And he was just normal for him. Like, hey son, we're gonna do this song and dance again, but this time you're gonna listen to me.
Because his mom
because she laid down and died and was like, Ben.
I know.
That's all it took. Why didn't she do that a long time ago?
If she would just said his name in the very first, they would have been done. It would have been like, wow, she said my name.
And they had to make more movies. They got to make their money.
Why did they have... Okay, now, maybe this is another thing about the sequels that I thought was better in Solo. Is Solo didn't do so much... Yes, they did do some fan servicey stuff, but it wasn't... It was kind of like they were trying to at least make their own story. I felt like the Rise of Skywalker and the Force Awakens and all of them, I just felt like... And The Last Jedi, I just felt like they were just trying to rehash the same old crap. A Death Star planet. Yeah, that's a good idea, guys. Come on. That's like Metal Gear. You know what I mean? Those Metal Gear games where they constantly just have...
I like Solo. I just do not personally believe it's the best Star Wars movie out there.
What do you think is the best? Empire Strikes Back?
No, I would say, in my personal opinion, it would be either Revenge of the Sith or Return of the Jedi.
If it wasn't for Hayden Christensen's bad acting. I remember we went and saw him in theaters.
We wouldn't seen all of them.
Yeah. and I remember that His acting ruined the movies for me. I thought Padme was hot back in those days, so it brought me back into it.
Yeah, but
now
recently,
in Thor, she's the worst part. Oh my goodness! Like she'll always be Princess Amidala to me.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, but as far as I will say this. I still stick with my initial verdict on it. I still think Solo, from just a storyline, it tried to be different. It tried to.
It didn't
make
fall
its own
into that category of this is just some more of the same or same.
Yeah.
Same
hey, look at all
story.
the different characters that we've seen before.
Yeah.
Hey, this should be enough. For a story. I feel like it was trying to be something different. It reminded me of an old-timey Western.
See, but
I love that.
I guess I just was a fan of the prequels because we got to see Darth Vader's side of things.
I know.
And so
we did get to see it Sith and Darth Maul, which, the Darth Maul thing just won me over from the very beginning.
My issue with Darth Maul in the prequels was there wasn't enough of him.
If they would have had Darth Maul throughout the prequels and not killed him off,
at least the first one.
Yeah, if there would have been a little bit more to him. There would have been no doubt.
He showed up in the desert, and then he showed up at the end, and then that was it.
Well, he makes it, the Cartoon Network, and then it later became the Disney Plus, the Clone Wars.
Yeah,
he actually, Darth Maul made those series.
Hands down.
So
that's what I'm saying. In the prequels, he just wasn't big enough for me. Like, I love that character.
He's a great character. Yeah, in the Clone Wars. And in Rebels,
that's why I say I really hope they do that series on Disney Plus about Darth Maul.
If they did, I would be big into it. I'd also love to see Daenerys Targaryen. I'm sorry. Like, I love her without the dragons, with or without the dragons.
I love her more without them.
She'll always be McQueen. All right, guys. Well, that's all we have for you today. Yeah, thanks for watching.
The content, please subscribe, comment, like.
We'll see you on the next Star Wars movie.
May the Force be with you.
Yes. Forget this video ever existed.
Don't tell me that.